Hey Buff fans, it's the last show of the year and Joey and I's last show ever, so we're going to make it a good one for you. Joey, just take the whole role. Just use the whole role.
It's here. I'm going to keep it together throughout the show, Allie. Don't worry.
It's going to be okay. Anyways, they always say that college is a marathon, not a sprint, and CU's triathlon runners know exactly how true that is. We've got the story later on in the show. Hello, Buff fans, and welcome to the final Sports Mag of the year. I'm Allie Levine, and sitting here beside me is Joey Prechtel.
Thanks, Allie. This will be our last time on the Sports Mag desk, so get ready for the best show ever.
That was already implied. Joey, come on. But in all seriousness, this is a big day for Joey and I. In just a little over a week, the two of us and many other Sports Mag seniors will be walking the stage at graduation.
Well, let's not look too far ahead, Allie. We still have a show to do, so let's get to it.
We wanted to start the show out today with a very important message about a fellow Buff, Barry or Tyler Allen.
Allen has been missing since April 11th. His friends and family have spent a considerable amount of time forming search parties in the Boulder area to find the Chicago native.
We ask that anyone with information about Allen's whereabouts contact the Boulder Police Department immediately.
All of us here at Sports Mag are praying for Allen's safe return.
But you know what? This is Sports Mag, and right now we're going to get back to Colorado athletics news of the week.
The women's golf team was feeling comfortable in its hometown at the Boulder Country Club for the Pac-12 championships. Colorado ended up coming in 5th place for a school best finish. On the last day, shooting 1 under par for the team as a whole. This subpar team round was one of only 3 that were posted throughout the entire tournament. Junior Alexis Keating led the Buffs to their overall win with her own final round of 5 under par 66. That's the lowest score recorded on a par 71 in program history. Head coach Ann Kelly stated that the final day of the tournament was one of the best ever by the Buffs. The ladies are in good position to qualify for the NCAA championships scheduled for May 7th through the 9th.
Sophomore Esther Lee has performed exceptionally well on the golf course all year. Her efforts paid off Wednesday as she was named to the first team All-Pac-12 conference, something no Buff has ever accomplished. Lee finished 12th overall in the Pac-12 tournament. The sophomore has had one of the best seasons in CU history and is currently ranked 14th by Golf Week. In her 10 events this season, Lee recorded 9 top 15 finishes and had 5 rounds in the 60s. That's good enough for 3rd on Colorado's career list. Colorado men's golf coach Roy Edwards looked north to find a new star to add to his 2015 recruiting class. Kate Crossland, a freshman transfer from Corbin University in Oregon, signed a financial agreement with the Buffs on Monday. Crossland is currently ranked number 12 in the NAIA. The rising freshmen have 14 rounds under par, 2 even rounds, and a low score of 67 during his time at Corbin, leading the university to the 25th national ranking. Crossland enters the class with 3 of the state's top players, Pierce Ashinger, Ross McDonald, and Wilson Belk.
Well, it's almost the end of the school year, which means there is a shortage of athletics to cover. Have no fear, though. Megan Barquette is in studio to answer your questions about our teams that are still in action in this week's edition of Buff Banner. Take it away, Megan, for the last time.
You're getting all sentimental, Joey. You're going to make me cry. Anyways, what's up, Buff fans? Like Joey said, I'm Megan Barquette here with this semester's final Buff Banner segment. With summer almost here, college sports are sadly coming to a close, and playoffs are just around the corner. Our first question comes to us from Jamie at Who Rides 24, who asks, how are women's lacrosse expected to do in the playoff? That's a great question, Jamie. Now, if you guys haven't been paying attention, or maybe you just live under a rock where there's no cell service, women's lacrosse has been having a pretty good season. Although the women still have 2 more games scheduled against the Bulldogs and the Ducks, their chances of making it to the playoffs are looking pretty good. So far, the Buffs are 8-6 overall and 3-4 against the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation. So basically, what that means is that in order for these ladies to make it to the MPSF playoffs, they'll need to take home a win against the Bulldogs this afternoon. Fresno is coming to Boulder seated at 4-9 overall and 2-5 in the conference. Now, last season, the Buffs won their only game against Fresno, so chances are definitely in CU's favor for this afternoon's game. Let's hope they bring home a win. Now, sticking to field-related sports, we're going to switch it up from lacrosse to soccer for our second question. Coming to us from Erica at 22 Looky Who, asking, how well did women's soccer do this spring season? Well, Erica, let me tell you. The Buffs women's soccer team had a killer spring season, finishing up undefeated last week in their game against the Cornhuskers. Even though Nebraska isn't in our conference, they still are one of our former Big 12 rivals, meaning that when both teams showed up, they were ready for a face-off. Although the Cornhuskers tied it up in the second half for a brief moment, the Buffs closed out the match with a 2-1 victory. Brittany Stark was a real anchor for the team's last game, tallying both goals against Nebraska. Stark also led the team in scoring with a 7-goal total for the season. With a perfect 9-0 record, Colorado only allowed 2 goals all season, earning them 6 shutouts and outscoring their opponents with a combined 13-2. Overall, if we include last year's spring season, the Buffaloes have a combined record of 15-0-2 in 17 matches, making them one of the top 10 teams in the Pac-12 conference. Well, guys, that's all I've got, and it's time for me to bid you all adieu. It's been a pleasure here at CU. I'm Megan Barquette. Back to you, Allie and Joey.
Thanks, Megan. Even though SportsMag won't be back on the air until the fall, you can keep up with all your favorite Colorado teams on CUBuffs.com.
We've asked lots of questions and given lots of answers over the course of the year, and now we're going to burden you one more time with another one. And you know what? We saved the best for last. So this week, we're asking, which CU Athletic Hall of Famer earned letters in football, basketball, and baseball between 1935 and 1938? Bonus points if you can figure out how many letters. I'll give you a hint. It's a lot. Stick around and we'll get you the answer later on in the show. Coming up on CU Sports Mag, Colorado athletes have been hard at work all year long. Find out who earned our spot on Athletes of the Year after the break.
You know, Allie, that award sounds very prestigious. I can't wait to hear all about it.
It is.
And also after the break, we'll get you the scoop on Tad Boyle's new addition to the men's basketball team.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Can lead to great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
She is one of America's toughest drug enforcement agents. Last year, she helped convict 90 drug dealers, seize several tons of crack and marijuana, and close down 10 major drug operations. She is a 68-year-old grandmother named Irma. She set up a community drug watch that is not only changing her neighborhood, but its future. There are many ways to help in your community. Call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
Lewis and Clark, great explorers. Hey, wait. Hi, I'm Thomas Jefferson. Would you check out the West for me? Oh, sure. And they take their keelboat up the Missouri. Oh, Buffalo. Then they built Fort Mandan. They're at 1804. Made some friends along the way. I'm Sacagawea. Through the Columbia Gorge.
There are tons of ways to help with your kids' learning. Find the really good ones on connectforkids.org.
A sweet Pacific Ocean! Yeah!
Last night, the University of Colorado announced that Louisville guard Ariana Freeman has completed her transfer to the Colorado Buffs. The rising sophomore played in 19 games for the 8th-ranked Cardinals, who made it to the NCAA Sweet 16 last season. Freeman averaged 19.7 points and 10.8 rebounds as a junior and was in the ESPN Hoop Girls Top 100 rankings throughout her high school career. Per NCAA rules, the guard will sit out the 2015 through 2016 season. Colorado men's basketball bolstered its depth this week when it signed transfer student Derek White from the University of Colorado Springs at Colorado Springs. Last season, the 6'5" combo guard averaged 25.8 points, 7.4 assists, and 5.2 rebounds. In 3 years in Colorado Springs, White became one of the best Division II players in the country. He is UCCS's all-time leader in points and assists, and this season was named the first All-American in school history. Like Freeman, White will sit out the season in accordance with NCAA rules.
Former Buff Chucky Jeffrey also put her pen to paper this week to sign a new deal for her professional career. Earlier this week, the Buffalo basketball star signed with the Atlanta Dream of the WNBA. Jeffrey made her debut in the professional league in 2013 with the Minnesota Lynx. She then went on to play 2 seasons with the New York Liberty. As a Buff, Jeffrey was a 2-time All-Pac-12 selection and 4-year letter winner. In her senior season, Jeffrey led the Buffs in scoring, assists, rebounds, and steals.
With this being our last show of the season, we wanted to honor 2 Buffs who have consistently graced our Athletes of the Week segment. That brings us to SportsMag's Athletes of the Year honors. Sophomore Esther Lee made the most out of her debut season with the Colorado women's golf team this year. She is the first Buff to ever be named first-team All-Pac-12 Conference. That, along with her strong performance at the Pac-12 Championships this week, made her a clear choice for the honor. On the slopes, Rooney Odegaard spent the year solidifying his place in the Colorado history books. The senior placed first in both the NCAA and RMISA championships. The Norwegian native has won a combined 14 titles.
We saved a very special double team for the final year of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this week we have Brock Anderson, Andrew Hobner, and Tommy Wood in studio to discuss the highest of highs and the lowest of lows of Colorado athletics this year. With so much to cover, we thought it best that these 3 join together to tackle the task. So guys, the floor is yours.
Hello, Buff fans. And contrary to the graphic you just saw, this isn't double team.
It's triple team.
On a green screen.
That's right, everybody. I am Andrew Hobner, your host. With me is CU Independent men's basketball beat writer Tommy Wood and our senior CU Sports Mag reporter Brock Anderson. And unfortunately, this is Brock's final show as a Sports Mag CU student. So, while we go over the best and worst moments of Brock's college career, we will also go over the best and worst college moments of CU athletics this year. So, Brock, since you are the senior, I will let you start, and we'll go worst to best, because I like ending it on a good note. So, worst moment of the year for CU athletics. Go.
No debate. UCLA, going into the half, there was no opportunity for them to get 0 points, except for that one way that they did. No one paid attention to the clock, including Steffo Lufau and Coach McIntyre, and they just ended up with nothing. Absolutely nothing. Most disappointing moment of the season for me in both football as well as all of CU athletics.
You know, it's funny. I was watching that with the audio dome for the Pac-12 network, and you could actually hear Coach Max screaming, "Spike the ball, spike the wings." It was bad. So, Tommy, we'll turn over to you. No doubt this will be basketball related after the season they had. So
yeah, it is basketball related. The 3rd game of the season when they traveled up to Laramie to play the Wyoming Cowboys, down by 3 at halftime, and then they scored 9 points. 9 points in the entire second half. They shot, I believe, 2 of 20 from the field after halftime. It was just abysmal, and every miss, every CU turnover was a Wyoming fast break going the other way. Larry Nance obliterated Josh Scott with a dunk that got him on SportsCenter top 10, and you know, it was only the 3rd game of the season, but they never recovered.
It was a bad game indeed, and it definitely set the tone for that entire year. You know, for me personally, I thought it was losing to Seattle University in the CBI. Really just a bad end to a bad season for CU basketball. Askia Booker kind of unceremoniously kicked himself out the door. A lot of the players didn't seem they were into it. They didn't want the invitation. But we are going to go with the good. We're going to end with the good, seeing as we're halfway through the segment. So, Tom, we'll go back to you since we're going to end with Brock. Best moment of the season for CU athletics.
See, for me, it's not even the NCAA athletics. It's the club hockey team and their victory over CSU at the Pepsi Center. They beat them 8-2. They took the season series from the Rams 4-1. And that final game got CU a spot in the national tournament, and it eliminated CSU from contention. It was so sweet.
Flashes of last year, actually, the year prior to the one that just passed, where CU men's club lacrosse beat CSU at Mile High.
Yeah.
And it was, number 2 versus number 4 at that time. Really, really amazing game and
went on to the national championship.
Went on to the national championship, exactly. That was a great year. So this is it, big guy. Best moment of the CU athletics season for you.
Got to honor my fellow senior, Askia Booker. I'm opposite both of you guys. Askia Booker is he's one of the greatest buffs of all time, and he showed up in a big moment, which was just exactly what needed to happen, the kind of exact curtain call that Askia Booker deserved and needed.
I like it. That's very interesting. Askia Booker too, man. He's one of those players who's going to be extraordinarily polarizing no matter where he goes. I mean, he could go to Europe, he could go to China, he might make it to the NBA.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But he's always going to be a guy who's going to leave a very conflicting legacy. So that is all the time we have for CU Sports Mag Double Team. But before we go, Brock, I want to thank you for all of the years of service you have given Sports Mag, and no doubt you will be successful on to the next step of your life. So, man, it's been a pleasure working with you this whole time.
Thank you. Mine as well.
And that's all the time we have for Sports Mag Double/Triple Team. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your final analysis on the highs and lows of Colorado athletics. I can speak for Buff fans everywhere when I say that I hope our teams come back next season to give the fans more highlights than lowlights. One Colorado team ended its spring season undefeated. Find out who after the break.
And the Colorado Triathlon team has been hard at work preparing for the national championships. Sports Mag Steve Nelson has the story when we return.
My nephew Scruff about to run into trouble again.
Hey, Bobo, where's your video game? In here. Well, look at this. Uh-oh. It's my dad's. You want to hold it? What'll I do?
If you get my new comic activity book, More Adventures with Scruff, you'll find out what you can do about bullies and guns. And you'll see lots of games.
Cool.
For your free copy of my new comic activity book, just write Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652, and help take a bite out of crime.
I want it. You know trouble can start when the clock hits 3.
When there's no place after school for kids to be.
Nothing to do but hanging on city streets.
When mom and dad are working to make ends meet. Now it's time to beat the street.
With after-school programs, city kids aren't left alone and vulnerable. They keep on learning between 3 and 6, but these programs need your support. Join with the Urban League to keep them going. Call now, because it's
time to beat the street.
This house was almost saved from a fire that was almost put out by neighbors who almost volunteered. As generous a nation as we are, sometimes instead of giving, we almost give. But almost giving is the same as not giving at all.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad
One more
today.
time. Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
The women's soccer team completed spring play against the University of Nebraska on Saturday. The Buffs toppled their former Big 12 rival with a score of 2-1 to remain undefeated. Former Brittany Stark led the team to victory as she tallied both goals of the match. Her first goal came from Olivia Papalardo's assists, and her second one was the result of a double assist made by Emily Paxton and Brie Hooks. The win was the Buffs' 9th of spring play and solidified their perfect season.
Being on the triathlon team requires its members to dig deep and push their bodies beyond their limits. But it's about much more than the races themselves. Sportsmag Steve Nelson caught up with a triathlete to find out what life on the team is like.
Running, swimming, and biking, one after another, seems like a pretty daunting task. But for Alex Doyle and the CU Triathlon team, it's a way of life.
We'll meet at a local bike shop and we'll go bike around Boulder, usually head out north, like towards Lyons, and we'll usually be gone 2 to 3 hours depending on the day. It just depends on what phase of training we're in. If we're in like a build phase, we'll just work really, really hard to just try to build some base fitness. Or if we're in a taper phase, we'll just like kind of just ride to flush our legs out, flush our muscles out. Sometimes we'll just like do a bunch of endurance stuff where it's just a bunch of really, really fast blocks for short periods of time with some rest in between. And we'll do the same with swimming, biking, and running.
On top of this, the triathletes need to make dietary changes to properly fuel their body.
I started eating more because I didn't realize how much I actually had to eat when I was training. And for a while I wasn't seeing any results and was just always tired because I just wasn't eating enough and wasn't getting enough of my nutrients in that I needed to get. I just sort of started adding more food but less food at each meal so I could eat more throughout the day.
Training is a very strenuous process, but Alex says it's all worth it in the end.
I've met a lot of really good friends. I've learned how to push my body further than I thought because, you know, in the middle of a race there were definitely been some thoughts that I just was going to quit. But seeing some of my teammates cheering for me towards the end of my first race just kept me going.
Though they're a close-knit group, they will gladly accept any additions to the team.
I had never done a triathlon before. I had never swam before. I was new to running. I'd been biking for a while, but you don't even have to have any sort of experience. If you want to join our team, we'll gladly take you on as long as you're willing to work hard and have a good attitude.
Steve Nelson, CU Sports Mag.
We wish the triathlon team the best of luck as it tries to capture its 16th overall and 6th straight national championship this weekend in Clemson, South Carolina. Colorado's own Rudy Von Berg looks to defend the individual title that he won last year. Don't go anywhere because after the break, we've got the tweet of the year.
And Denora Aventano-Curiel is going to make this the fastest rapid fire segment you've ever seen.
Hey guys, since we did triple team of double team, we're now going to do double team of rapid fire.
Excuse me, no you're not. I get that Brock's a senior and everything, but so am I. This is my segment. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Okay.
Get out.
Okay.
Rapid fire is coming up. I'm Dinora. Do not go anywhere.
Sounds like you could use some Van Gogurt. It's fortified with arch-rich nutrients to improve your math and reading skills. Catch!
Van Gogurt. Thanks. So what's the deal with your ear?
Always with the ear, huh?
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
Listen well, all of you. A wildfire
No!
can come from anywhere,
Where?
even the most unexpected places. But 9 out of 10 are caused by humans and can be prevented. Protect our friends in the forest.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Mom!
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, how was your weekend? Oh, have you studied for jogging? Oh, yeah.
Pay attention. It matters.
Rapid Fire is always a fun segment here in the Sports Mag studio, but Denora Aventano-Curiel gives it a special flair. She's in studio to give you her final run-through of the week's upcoming events. So for the last time, I'll say, take it away, Denora.
Welcome, Buff fans, to the last but not least rapid fire of this year. My name is Dinora Aventano-Curiel, and I've got one more time to catch you up with this weekend's CU sports. So let's stir it up. The women's tennis team begins their Pac-12 championship this weekend, Saturday the 25th at Ojai, California. It's been a rough season for the ladies, but let's hope that leaving the state will bring some wins. Flying back to Colorado, also on Saturday the 25th, we got the track and field team finishing up the Christensen Invitational at Fort Collins. So if you can make a trip up north, go and support your Buffs. Coming home to none other than our own Boulder campus, the lacrosse team will be closing their final season this Sunday, April 26th. The Buffs will compete against Oregon at 1 p.m. If the team can pull a win, they will secure a tournament berth. Good luck, ladies. And finally, taking it back to the fields, Monday, April 27th, the Pac-12 Men's Golf Championships begin. The tournament starts at 8:30 a.m. at Pullman, Washington. It has been an absolute pleasure to be with you here at CU Sports Mag. Thank you so much for your loyalty. Stay classy, Buffs. Back to Joey and Allie at the desk.
All right, time's up. Have you figured out the answer to our final trivia question of the year? In case you forgot, we asked, which CU Athletic Hall of Famer earned letters in football, basketball, and baseball between 1935 and 1938? And the answer is, surprise, it's Whizzer. CU Hall of Famer Byron White earned his cool nickname by earning no less than 7 letters in football, basketball, and baseball.
Well, Buff fans, we're nearing the end of our final show of the year, so that means we're not just going to give you our favorite tweet of the week. Oh, no. Today, we're bringing you our favorite tweet of the entire year. It seems only fitting that it would come from always inspiring head football coach Mike McIntyre. He tweeted, "If your dreams don't scare you, then they aren't big enough." I think any graduating senior can take those words to heart as we leave CU and enter the real world. Well, Joey, we're nearing the end of our final show, and our career as Colorado Buffaloes.
You know, graduating is a bittersweet event, but every sports mag senior is more than prepared to enter the next phase.
But before we call it a day and sign off for the very last time, our crew prepared a special message for us. Neither of us have seen this, but don't worry, Joe, you still should have that roll of tissues somewhere around.
Thanks, Allie. Thanks.
Welcome.
Just go ahead and roll it, guys.
Our Buffalo Ralphie is the pride and joy of CU school spirit.
I don't think there's anybody in Sports Mag, aside from Steve Jones, who checks me the way Jamie Henderson does.
You're incredible.
If there's one person in Sports Mag who looks like trouble, it's Jamie.
Jamie is so creative. She just pictures something in her head. She has an image of something, and there's no way she's not going to make it happen.
Probably the most talented director I've seen personally. You know, you're driven.
Trying to do half of the things that you've done in your past college career that I can be half as good as what you are today.
174 skiers nationwide will travel to the NCAA Skiing Championships next week.
I can't say some of the stuff that I want to say about Joey on camera.
You have this semester especially just become one of my best friends.
More determined than just about anybody.
I think you're a great character. You've got such a high spirit.
Everything that you do on and off camera is hilarious.
Joey is one of the kindest people I know.
He's so polished on the desk. It's unbelievable.
Joey, man, I mean, I feel like I'm in Sports Mag because of you.
I will never forget our midnight talks.
Dude, you're gonna be fantastic, dude. I mean, you've got it all.
Let's hear what Tad and the players had to say about their performance following the game.
The first time I saw you, I knew that you were, as corny as it sounds, a force to be reckoned with.
I really can't think of anyone who I've been able to talk to about everything.
She works so hard. She's so motivated. Just a beautiful person inside and out.
I appreciate her so much. She's just a great teacher. She's great to be around.
You're an incredible person. You're an incredible human being. And I think that you following your heart is the most important thing that you could ever decide.
Super helpful with everything. I know I can always come to you with a question.
I love you, Allie Levine. I don't know what I'm going to do without you next year.
Oh, we seem to be joined by our fellow seniors as this is our last show. Allie's, the waterworks are coming down now, as she said they would. So I kind of have to do all this goodbye stuff. But it's been a pleasure being a part of Sports Mag ever since I transferred here my junior year. Really just don't know what else to say about you guys. Thank you again. Have a lovely summer. And we'll see you all again next year with a brand new season of CU Sports Mag.